Best on Best, the Olympic hockey tournament is underway. Everybody has played, and we have 6 winners, all in regulation out of the gate. Daren Millard back with John Shannon on 100% Hockey. Canada and the Americans, both with lopsided victories. And you also have Switzerland and Germany joining Slovakia and Sweden with victories in their openers, John. No real upsets, although Finland dropping to Slovakia caught people by surprise.
It did, but that can all go away on Friday because the Finns are playing their arch rival Swedes, and you know how rivalries go, and I truly believe that the Finns have had a wake-up call with their embarrassing. It was an embarrassing loss to Slovakia. There was a lot of expectation, but today, it's fascinating to look at. I think the anticipation, particularly in North America, for how Canada would look against a team that always scares Canada, Czechia, and then how the Americans would look against a Latvian team. So it was fascinating to see that Canada wins by 5 and the Americans win by 4.
Ken Hitchcock will join us once again. I think he's going to stop by. Oh, you kind of ticked him off yesterday with your commentary on 2014. So I'm going to get him in a good mood before we record our conversation with him. Canada wins 5-0. And that was a game, the Czechia opposition, that made me nervous. Yeah. Not just because of what's happened at the junior level the last couple of years, but Czechia's Pasternak, Hurdle, Nemec, they've got players. And the Czechs' top players were not nearly as effective as the Canadian top players. It was a pretty clinical game for Canada.
Yeah, and it's from a Czech perspective. You're right. I agree with you. I actually thought that Martin Necas was the best forward all night long for the Czechs. David Pasternak wasn't near as effective as I thought he would be, but to me, what Canada did for most of the game was surgical. What do you feel better about for Canada? The defensive performance or putting up a 5 spot? I feel better for the offensive side of the puck. I liked the fact that we saw some chemistry. McDavid, Celebrini, Wilson, by the second period was a formidable line. I thought Sid's line was really good as well. Marner, Stone, and Crosby. Don't tell Kelly McCrimmon because he may go and try to get Crosby to play for Vegas because because why not? McCrimmon always hits for the fences. You know that. But,
I don't know whether you saw Marner saying, having played with Mark Stone for 3/4 of a season.
Yes,
he knew where he was going to be on that play, and it was an unbelievable world-class backhand sauce pass. But that chemistry, putting those, and they don't normally play together in Vegas, but they played together
only on the power play, right?
Yeah,
they'd play on the power play. I thought that was a really good line. I thought Bo Horvat was actually Horvat's funny. Horvat struggled in the faceoff circle in the first period, but was second and third periods. I thought he was really, really good.
Once they stitched him up.
Yeah, I know. But
that was an Olympic moment. Blood dripping down his cheek, going to the room.
That'll be in commercials. That'll be in promos.
Well, if you can use the footage. We'll see.
For NBC and CBC, they'll be able to use it. So.
I think Jordan Binnington going out and being so crisp early and then making big saves at the start of the second period, not allowing the Team Czechia to get any momentum, that just lets all the air out of that balloon, which we know has grown significantly the front half of this National Hockey League season.
And you know who else I really liked in the game? I thought Drew Doughty was so smart.
Physical.
Boy. But his stick, I'm not a real expert on analyzing play, but his stick was always in the right spot. Rarely did passes get through if he was on the ice. I thought Drew Doughty played such a smart game today. Really, it was so impressive. And then because we all wondered, is he going to be able to keep up with the speed? but he knew where the puck was going all day long. The other guy that was really good was Thomas Harley. I thought Harley played a smart game. He played more ice time than anybody else for Canada. And I just thought he played a beautifully controlled game all day long. And then the Americans, I'm surprised they kept their cool after 2 disallowed goals in the first period.
Well, one was obvious. I thought one was obvious.
Yes.
On the offside. That seemed more black and white. The goaltender interference I would struggle with. But what a great lesson to learn early when it didn't matter.
Right. And, there are nuances. And I think we saw it with the Suzuki penalty. I think we saw it with the Americans and the goalie interference. There are small nuances in the game between the NHL and the IIHF game. And those are 2 great examples of it that you hope that teams can learn from it and be obvious. When you're standing in front of the goal, be 6 inches outside the blue. Mm-hmm. Don't let it be contentious. And so those are the types of things you're just going to have to watch for.
I want to get your thoughts on Connor McDavid and Auston Matthews, how they feel after their openers. But up next, let's be joined by Ken Hitchcock, who's back with us today. See if he's calmed down from the questioning of the 2014 Olympic gold by Canada. John Shannon called it boring. Anything but.
It was boring. It was boring.
Hitch, next on 100% Hockey, Best on Best.
NHL TV is now on DAZN. Hockey lives here.
Here we go.
Watch every game from every team. The best players in the world. And the coldest plays on ice. Watch up to 4 games at once for the ultimate NHL experience. Sign up now at DAZN.
Here's the coach, Ken Hitchcock, joins us on 100% Hockey with Millard and Shannon. So were you surprised at all with what happened on the Canadian or American sides?
Not really. I was surprised at how coordinated Canada looked. They looked like they played together for years. They were really, their game was coordinated. They looked in precision. They handled the lines on the ice well. I thought they played really, really well. And it took, for me and the Americans, it took the Americans half the game to get to their game. And their game was activation and control of the puck by the defenseman. And once they started to wheel halfway through the game, then you could see it tilted in a big way. But more than anything, I was very impressed with the way Canada played as a team, which is a real good sign.
Really does make you appreciate keeping a group together from 4 nations to the Olympics a year later, isn't it?
Yeah, this looks like a team that's played together for a long time.
So that's the benefit of the 4 teams that played last. I know Finland didn't get off the greatest start, but rolling it back 1 year to the next, obviously having that trial run last year, the 4 nations.
If you win,
right?
If you don't win, then you got problems. Yeah, I think I know John was bored with the 2014 gold medal.
Yes, I was. I was bored. I admit it. You guys coached boring hockey.
We were a machine in 2014. We were a machine because we had so many players from 2010 on the team. They were coaching the team themselves. So you like that coordination, and I've seen it before, and I saw it today with Canada. They were very coordinated.
You like the line combinations?
The ones that finished the game in the second half, I did. Yes, I liked what I saw.
So they gave McKinnon a few guys. It was almost like they were trying to test, because Sid's line was, was good, and obviously Connor's line got warmed up, but the McKinnon line was the one that really was a little out of sorts for a while, and they were trying to find somebody to play on that one side.
And I thought it got better as the game went on. I thought it got a lot better as the game went on. But that's what you get in this competition. You don't know. But if you just sit on it, then you'll never know if you can make the changes. So I was impressed with what Coop and the staff did. They moved him around to see if there was a combination that worked. And then kind of at the end, the combination that he was with kind of looked pretty good, and they stayed with it.
I was expecting more of a push from Czechia. What about you?
Yeah, I was. I thought they gave a little bit of push early, but they looked like a team, quite frankly, that didn't believe they could win. And when it started tilting, they lost their energy. And it's the same as the Latvians. The Latvians were good for half the game. The Americans started to control the play, and the Latvians got very discouraged.
You coach Connor McDavid. You know him well. Nothing surprised you out of McDavid today? What he did?
No, he plays at a speed that no one else can play at, with or without the puck. He's gonna be in and around the big action all the time, and he looks like a player, quite frankly, that's really dialed in right now, John.
They got 12 shots from their top three centers today, and that's the strength going down the middle. But that was even more dominant than I was expecting. What made them so good, or allowed them to be so effective?
They had control of the puck all the time. They had the puck all the time, and they had control of it. They weren't giving it away easy. They put the puck in good spots to get it back. Like, they just controlled the game. They controlled the ice. They controlled the neutral zone. There's a lot of players that are playing center that can do just as good a job playing wing, and vice versa. They got depth in the right areas. You can't have enough center ice depth, and they got lots of it.
Celebrini, Horvat, Suzuki, Wilson, the new guys, the newbies. Anybody jump out at you what they did?
I thought all those guys got better as the game went on. And I thought those guys got up to the pace as the game went on. And I thought they looked like people that at the end of the day can really help us. And I thought Wilson really picked up his pace in the second half of the game. I thought Horvat was good all game. I thought Suzuki picked up his pace, and Celebrini he just knows where to play on the ice. He's not even 20 years old. He plays like he's 30 years old. So it's a good sign.
So the other aspect of this for me, Ken, would be like there, even in the first period after the McKinnon disallowed goal, you had a sense that you were 70% of the game. I mean, that's how dominant Canada was. How do you coach through that? How do you make sure? How do you keep and make sure when you're on the bench that you keep your foot on the pedal?
The players do that. There's so many driven players on Team Canada, and there is on the American team too. There's so many driven players. They're pushing harder than any coach can push, and the coaches are there. They're supporting, but the push is coming from inside the locker room.
Canada wins 5-0. The Americans win 5-1. We'll deal with the American victory in more detail in just a second. But from the Macklin Celebrini standpoint, like you mentioned, he's not 20 years old yet. Important for him to contribute early, being a young guy, or do you think that swagger, that confidence that he obviously has carries him through?
I think it was really important that he didn't look out of place today. He looked like a veteran player. And that's exactly what he looked like. I was really impressed. He's got a maturity about his game that really shines, and I thought it came out today.
Can this team play faster?
They're going to have to.
Explain it.
Because the tempo, I said this yesterday, the fastest team are the Americans. You know, the Canadians have some fast players, but the Americans have team speed to match or better anybody. So they're going to have to play at that tempo. And they're going to get teams like the Swiss can really skate. The Swiss is quick. They're going to get games where there's going to be real white-hot tempo, and the faster they can play and control the puck, the better they're going to play. And I just like the way they manage the game, and I like the way they didn't try to slow the play down through the neutral zone. They kept it at top speed, and that's a good sign.
At the risk of bearing the lead, Jordan Binnington comes up with the shutout today. Your thoughts on, one, the decision to go with him, and two, his performance. I just thought he was clean early on, Ken, and then was good in the second period.
Yeah, he knows what it takes to win. He's been played in big games, so none of this surprises me. He's a really good goalie, and the better you play in front of him, he'll make the big saves for you. I was impressed. He looked like he was in complete control.
There was that one sequence where Faksa ran into him, and then Thomas Harley took offense to Faksa running into them. And then Binnington was the guy going out at Harley saying, hey, just calm down, let him go. There is some irony when you think about it that Harley and Faksa are teammates. And then Faksa was a teammate of Binnington's in St. Louis 2 years ago. So it's one of those ones where you really do, you have to create awareness like that. And you certainly can't drop your gloves and fight, but you have to find a way to protect your goaltender.
Yeah, but the players know what's at stake, John. There's no getting even in this type of competition. This is for Olympic gold medals, and you sacrifice everything. You pay the price. Whatever price you pay, you got to pay it. Everybody knows that. And that's what impressed me about Team Canada. Their competitive composure was excellent today.
Is there anything you would tweak or change? Is there anything you would tweak or change or dial into for the back-to-back?
Not really. I mean, they're going to change the goalie, obviously. Mm-hmm. Usually the guy that backed up tonight is the starter, so I'm not sure 100%, but it looks like it's probably going to be Thompson. But I think you just keep going. They got a lot of good things they did today, and I'm sure they're showing that on tape and following it up. But you keep playing at this pace, they're going to be hard to beat.
How difficult is to manage 13 forwards and 7 D-men? Now, they ended up going to 6 D-men because of the Morrissey injury, but how difficult it is to juggle, or do you care? Or I mean, Sam Bennett was the low man on the pole today, but he got to play some time when they were up 4 or 5-0.
He got 7 or 8 minutes?
Yeah. 7-19.
Yeah. He's going to be a factor in the series yet, so I think the players just got to stay engaged. You can't fall asleep. Like when you say you got to pay the price and make sacrifices, that's one of them. That's a big one, and you got to eat that. But something else, like 14 minutes a night feels like 19 minutes in the NHL because the pace at a lot of these games is white hot. So 30 seconds and you're dead on the ice, and I think you're going to see guys that play 14, 15 minutes. They're going to tell you at some period of time it felt like I played 20 minutes. So that's important to keep up.
It's been interesting you say that. McKinnon was just over 14 minutes. Crosby was just over 16 minutes. McDavid was just over 18 minutes.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to see for most of the tournament.
I don't know whether you noticed on your feed, but Sid and Tocchet were having a conversation on the bench, long conversation, an enjoyable conversation near the end of the game. It looked like they got to sort of soak up the atmosphere. Kind of nice out of the gate to be able to absorb the moment a little bit, not be so stressed out and grinding through it.
Well, the players love this. I mean, whether they're staying in the hotel or staying in the village doesn't really matter. They spend time in the village, and they enjoy. They're admirers of other athletes, short track speed skaters, curlers, whatever. They love this atmosphere. They love being part of a Team Canada, not just part of the hockey. And so being able to absorb this or being part of it is really important. And going to these events, team went to short track speed skating. That's fun to go to that stuff.
Pull on that thread as we continue on 100% Hockey. Back with Ken Hitchcock right after this. It's Best on Best.
Car shopping should be exciting, not exhausting. That's where Car Gurus comes in. They have advanced search tools, unbiased deal ratings, and price history, so you know a great deal when you see one. It's no wonder that Car Gurus is the #1 rated car shopping app in Canada. When you're car shopping on your phone, it shouldn't be a maze. You need to see all the information. With the Car Gurus app, you can. Powerful search tools that you see deal ratings, price history, and dealer reviews on listings all in one place. And you can turn on real-time price drop alerts so you never miss a great deal. Car Gurus connects you with trusted dealerships when you're ready, ensuring a transparent, hassle-free buying process. Buy your next car today at cargurus.ca. Make sure your deal is the best deal. That's cargurus.ca. cargurus.ca.
Hope you're enjoying the full conversation with Ken Hitchcock on YouTube through all the different platforms that podcasts are available. What was your favorite event when you were at the Olympic Games to go to outside of the hockey rink, or were you able to?
Short track speed skating. I loved it. It was like a full contact sport. And our players ended up hanging with those guys. They were great athletes. They kicked our butts at everything. Pool, ping pong, whatever game we were playing, they kicked us hard when we were in the village with them. And I was really impressed with that sport and really impressed with that sport live.
I have Tom Wilson as my best contender or candidate for short track speed skating, because he can muscle you in the corner and he can skate pretty good.
Well, he's going to have those little guys are a gutsy, boy. I
was going to say he's a bit big. He's a bit big to be a short track skater. So after the first game of a tournament, so after in Salt Lake was different because you weren't supposed to lose that badly in losing to Sweden.
Why do you keep bringing that up to him?
Because I like it, just like Hitchcock. I like poking the bear every once in a while. He's better when you poke the bear, you know.
I'm sorry I've left you alone with him for a couple of days, Ken.
Yeah. How much relief is there right now? You know, after the game. Okay, the tournament's underway. Is there a different sense, a different attitude after that first game is played?
No, not so much a different sense, but you get into a routine now. Now you know that now everything isn't so new, feels comfortable, and now you're in your routine. And the players are in that now, you know, wherever they're having the meetings, whether it's back in the village, back at the hotel, but now they're into the routine, and that's when players perform at their best.
You touched on the performance by the Americans compared to the shutout victory by Canada. Any discernible difference how you view two lopsided victories?
Not so much difference, but I got to tell you, the American ability to generate off the back end is very impressive. Their mobility, their interchange of position, the way they play as a group back there, the way they activate on the offensive blue line in the zone, that is going to be a tough nut to crack for anybody. They're really, really mobile and good there and very creative. So they're going to be a challenge for everybody.
Who caught your eye today? Werenski was down low. He always is. Quinn Hughes on a goal was at the side of the net when Nelson was able to put one in.
I would say Werenski really impressed me, like knowing when to go, when and not to go. He's got great instincts, and I thought the other players fed off of his energy also.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I'm a Devils fan, I'm not sure I'm happy that Jack Hughes is playing this well or mad that he didn't, he played a few or didn't play a few games before the tournament because he was hurt, because Jack Hughes looked inspired today as well.
Yeah, their whole team in the second half of the game was really good. They were really dialed in. Nelson was a great player tonight.
What Canada plays Switzerland on day 3 on Friday. What scares you about the Swiss?
Skate and check. They can really skate and they can really check. And they don't give you easy ice. So this will be interesting.
But to be honest, we thought that about the Latvians. That we thought the Latvians were going to do that to the Americans, and the Latvians couldn't shut them down.
No, the Swiss are quick and they check, and they really check. They start the game playing for 1-0.
Oh no! First goal wins. I like that. Get to go home early for dinner. Is it hard following up an impressive performance out of the gate, or how do you get everybody locked in where it's not going to be that easy for the rest of the way? And because you're facing a team that you're expecting to beat.
Yeah, I don't think that's a big deal for the players. I think the players are just jacked being able to be with each other and enjoy each other's company and get into that routine I was telling you about. I don't think that's a big deal. I think Team Canada has been consistent since really the Four Nations, and I wouldn't be surprised if they even play at a different level again. They're getting better and better. That's one thing people don't talk about is they're good, but they're also getting better as time moves on, and that's what's really impressive.
So can you take us through what game day would be like? We're not going to see a morning skate like we would in the National Hockey League. Would there be, how many meetings would there be, or do you're starting the game at 9:00, just after 9:00 Milan time? How would you imagine the day on Friday be for John Cooper, for his staff, because they'll meet a lot. But how would it be for the players?
It feels long.
So how do you manage that?
Well, I think you just got to get used to it, but it does feel long, John. You know, if you're playing that late, like it feels long, and you've got to find a way to keep your interest. And I'm sure they're going to get into a fitness routine and everything that goes on, but the day will feel long.
You had some later face-offs in your time in the National Hockey League because of television during postseasons. What's the latest you've ever had puck drop in a legitimate game, whether it's the Olympics or National Hockey League or sort?
8:50, and it felt like forever.
It did, eh?
Yeah. Oh my God, it felt like forever.
And what did you do during that game?
Yeah. Well, we were able to break it up with a pregame skate, but it felt like the time between the pregame skate and the game was never going to start. Like it just went on and on and on, and the players were all at the rink at normal time, and it was an hour and a half earlier than normal. It felt like a very, very long day.
I can't imagine. So what would you advise the players to do tomorrow morning?
Try to find a way to keep their interest without doing it with meetings. So get them into a fitness routine. Whatever. Usually the fitness places are second to none in these events. And just get into a routine where you can manage your time and not get bored. It's hard. It's really hard. That's a big challenge in those events. You're playing early, you're playing late. You're not sure how you're going to do. Every day is a little bit different than the other day. You're not consistent with it, but you're going to have to just get used to that.
As a coaching staff now, everybody's played. You're focused on your team, no doubt about it. How aware are you that the Americans had won 5-1? Or if you're on Mike Sullivan's staff, how aware are you that Canada won 5-0?
They know. They're looking.
And are you doing video scouting? Are you scouting teams and games already?
You're piecemealing it together, but you're getting ready when the games really get more intense. That's when the video dials up. But you know, you're dipping into it, but you're not overwhelmed by it right now.
Hey, what were your emotions like today watching this tournament?
I was really happy for the way Canada played. I was really impressed.
Were your juices flowing at all? Like, haven't been through this a few times?
I got a little nervous at the start of the game, because you heat up and stuff. But no, I enjoy watching good hockey, and watching the Americans and the Canadians play today was really fun. You know, you see the different styles, the different styles of the game, but watching them play was fun today, to be honest with you.
And we also saw a different level of officiating. We saw the Suzuki penalty, which I don't think would have been a penalty in the NHL.
I thought it was a penalty, though.
So did I, but it wouldn't have been a penalty they wouldn't have called that in the NHL away from the play. No way.
It was a trip. But I didn't think the goalie interference in the Team USA game was.
Well, and then my point was the two reviews in the first period, the challenges and overturned goals for the Americans. How do you get a sense that the officiating is at that different level?
John, what I get a sense of is number one is the goalies are off limits. That's international hockey, and that's the bottom line. Goalies are off limits.
I also love the Latvian coach turning around and waving up and saying, "Good job." I don't know who he was saluting to after the challenge of the offside, but I've never seen a coach turn around and salute whoever was upstairs with the call.
Well, he made a good call, that guy.
He did. He did. You're right about goalies being off limits. There wasn't much of a bump, so I would guess that Team Canada, Team USA would be showing that, saying that's your margin of error. It's that small.
Yeah, it is that small.
As we tape, we don't know the status of Josh Morrissey for Canada after he left the second period. I would assume that means Travis Sanheim will come in and play. Sanheim might have played anyway against the Swiss. But, what kind of ripple effect does having one of your players injured this early do to you?
It's an effect, but let's just wait a couple of days on it and see how it turns out.
I like that. I'm going to end it right there.
Okay.
Ken Hitchcock telling John Shannon, "Hey, just slow your roll a little bit.
He's still
cool your jets."
He's still a little angry at me for calling 2014 boring. So,
well, and as he should be.
It was boring. They won though, and everybody was happy that they won.
I don't think anybody was bored celebrating the gold, right, Hitch?
You got?
Yeah. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you again.
Take care, you guys. Bye.
Be good.
With the NHL app, you can listen to every NHL game right from your phone. And with home and away broadcast feeds, you choose your way to listen.
And he scores!
Whether you're at work, at the gym, or stuck in traffic, the NHL app puts you right in the action all season long. Every team, every game, everywhere you go. Download the NHL app and never miss a moment.
Well, he calmed down a little bit. He didn't come over the boards at you.
I don't think he's inviting me to dinner, though.
No.
As long as he doesn't tell Babcock that I thought it was boring, because they live not far from each other. So Babs would take a swing at me.
The goals for and against from that tournament in 2014, which you call boring, the data does back up how lopsided it was for Canada against the entire field.
What was it? Carey Price gave up 2 goals?
3, I think.
3. Okay. Well,
And the goaltending conversation, much different this time around as the NHL players return. And Jordan Binnington goes out and is solid. So did you expect, because I thought Logan Thompson would start game 1, did you expect Jordan to go?
I did. I if you go back and check any shows we talked about it, I thought Binnington would start. And John Cooper, after the game, confirmed. He said, I knew 365 days ago that Jordan Binnington was starting game 1. So, and not that John Cooper told me that, but I just, the loyalty factor and the chemistry factor of 4 nations is paying off. And I think you saw it with Binnington. I think you saw it with some of the defensive pairings. I think you saw it with some of the chemistry of the forwards. And so that to me is a big part of day 1 success for both Canada and the United States.
See, the 3 lowest ice times in Canada were Florida Panther players. That's my favorite part about it. The intrigue that people are throwing around was pretty funny.
I'm sure there's a conspiracy theorist somewhere saying that John Cooper's after us.
McDavid had 6 shots. It might have been one of the best games he's played.
the first goal that counted, the Celebrini deflection of the Makar shot. By the way, Mikhail Makar was brilliant today too. Was all made because of McDavid's speed. All made because it wasn't called an icing. McDavid got to the puck first, and so
shorter rink too.
Well, that whole neutral zone has played a part every once in a while in the games.
Yeah. There's
been a couple of offsides, long passes that they haven't learned to adapt to the shorter neutral zone yet, and there's a couple in day one. The Sebastian Aho in the Finnish game got called one, and there was one today in the Canada game as well. So I think that that's a factor. But Connor McDavid's speed was something that I think indicates A, how fast he is, but B, how engaged he is and how much he's always wanted to play at the Olympics.
Auston Matthews, what do you think?
I didn't notice him as much as I noticed other American forwards. Honestly, I didn't notice him as much as Jack Hughes. I didn't notice him as much as obviously Brock Nelson
or Jack Eichel.
Jack Eichel. Yeah, I didn't. I just didn't. Or Brady and Matthew. But it's early. And the responsibilities. The one thing is that are you looking for a 197-foot player, or are you looking for an offensive player? And Auston plays really strong defensively as well.
He did get banged up, and he shook the trainer off, but he did take a pretty nasty blow.
Yeah, but
should have been that should have been a penalty.
Yeah, you don't like physical play?
Oh, I do, but that looked like a clear elbow. And I'm really happy about Quinn Hughes, because after he got erased the other day by the New Jersey Devils in that picture between the Tkachuks and the Hughes, I was happy to see Quinn is alive and well. That was one of the most bizarre social media posts I've ever seen. If anybody saw it, was the Tkachuks and the Hughes brothers all together, but then the New Jersey Devils posted the same picture, but took out Quinn Hughes, except for half his jersey and his leg were still in the picture. It was like you and I trying Photoshop for the first time.
It's not that the Devils are angry that he didn't go to New Jersey or anything, right?
Well, that's not going to help. he hasn't been able to sign yet, so you still got a chance.
I do wonder if Tom Fitzgerald's in charge of photoshopping on the Devils media site. What do you think?
Canada back at it tomorrow, starting with a back-to-back, which I think is a bit of an advantage, being able to get going, get this thing going. They've all been chomping at the bit to get going. Not that it's going to hurt the Americans by having a day off.
Well, no, but they're back-to-backs on the weekend, so it's
just like get going. Although that. What Hitch was talking about, having to wait all day for the game, it gets in your head, because you just want to get there. Okay, then you get to the rink. Now what? Because we're still got so much time to go.
The only thing is that, and I don't know this actual number, but that most of the players have family there. So this will allow them some family time.
Yeah, I wonder if they go out and do that during the day. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
And do you think they would schedule a skate in just I don't know this, but I would think if they have the option.
No, there will be practice time. There will be ice time at the practice rink. There will be ice time at the practice. Yeah, the tent.
It's a tent.
I know.
It's so good.
Okay. It's okay.
It's a well-built tent. Like as far as tents go, it's a really, really solid tent.
Yeah. You know what I want to talk about tomorrow at the end of the show? I want to talk about how they do the standings 3, 2, 1. I want to hear your opinion about that. Don't give us your
some research
now.
On that.
I've
got some research on it.
Oh,
I will let you know my research, because I did some background stuff on it, not knowing that you were going to talk about it, but at some point it was going to come up during this fortnight, and I wanted to make sure I was ready. So I actually dug into it.
Oh, now you said fortnight, and so that means there's like lots of people are going to have to go to Google and say, what is a fortnight? Fortnight is 2 weeks. So
don't get all foamy on me. Just fitting in some What do you think?
Time to go.
All right. We'll be back. I hope everybody's enjoyed Best on Best. It's 100% hockey with Millard, Shannon, and Hitchcock. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.